do it.
Woo! Welcome back, everybody.
Woohoo!
Disney Plus night.
No night like it. Such a good night.
I gotta start off though. I was so taken back by the opening. Normally Disney night has this big opening number. And I get like, okay, they weren't in Disney because the like first night of opening, they were in Disney World. Mm-hmm. And so like, I kind of expected, I don't know. Do you remember a few seasons ago where like Alfonso like did this beautiful song and they had like all the characters and interacting on it? Yeah. Like just something big and magical. And I don't know. Didn't get the opening number. So I was like, I was surprised.
No, maybe it was simply because it wasn't, maybe they were trying to differentiate from Disney night to Disney Plus night.
Then I want Disney back.
Yeah, this idea, that's just my guess, is that they were trying to keep it a little more low key, to keep on that idea of Disney Plus instead of it being a Disney night. Mm-hmm. Just a thought.
I don't know.
But anyway, I do agree. It was a great number, but I do miss that kind of showstopper dramaticism.
I felt like last week had more of a showstopper opening number.
Yes, definitely.
So, but I'm excited though for next week too, because next week's most memorable year and prom night.
That's always a big one every season. I'm so happy that they're keeping that as a theme and keeping that for us. So
definitely going to need tissues next week, but let's dive into this past week.
Yes. Okay. So let's get into Disney night. So starting right off the bat, finally getting Daniella back on the dance floor.
Yes. So they did Hercules and they hit the Charleston. I thought it was a weird song to have the Charleston to.
A little bit.
Okay. Because like when I heard that, I was like, it doesn't fit. So a little bit. They had a lot of lifts in their number. A lot. Mm-hmm. And I can totally see where the judges were like, there were too many tricks almost.
See, I didn't feel that. I really felt like there was a lot of that content in there. And I feel like the tricks very much so fit Hercules. They fit this theming of all of that. And I think if it had been any regular number, I would have felt that. But I think it still felt Hercules to me.
So the thing is, I think, is if you have a lift, you want to make sure those transition pieces are so clean and it doesn't look awkward. And some of like, just like Carrie Ann was saying, those ins and outs that he was having, he struggled on some of them. So it didn't look effortless.
Agreed.
Which took that out of the character for me.
That's fair.
So I think if the lifts were completely clean, I probably would have enjoyed it more and seeing that with the character. But because of that, I think that's where I struggled. But I have to say that I pretty much agreed with what the judges gave him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I did think it was very fun, though. It was a great way to kick off the night, and a good fit for him, nonetheless. I like the little bit of the challenge.
Jitterbug. Sorry, my dog is going after the cat. And I just hear like this growl in the background.
Poor Mr. Beanie.
Oh, they get playful sometimes.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Okay. Anything else about Joseph and Daniella? All right, so moving on. We should take a brief minute to talk about Sam and Cheryl, although Sam did get to go home last night, which makes me sad, but I felt it was fitting. I did feel like it was okay.
He was the one that had to go home. Like I saw that one coming. It was not a surprise to me. But in his podcast with it's not his, it's Cheryl's podcast, but she interviewed him. And his goal was week 3. Yeah. So he made it even one more week and he was ecstatic. So like, and you just, there was something about him, like when he danced, he just brought joy. So
Definitely.
I just was glad that he had the experience. And I think him and Cheryl were a good partner because they already were friends ahead of time. So I think that really fit.
Yes. And the paso and just the fit of the greatest show, like I felt like he really embodied that character, which I loved to see on his final night. It really gave him a chance. And my goodness, knee crawls.
The knee crawls were insane. I was like, whoa, Sam.
I was so excited for him. So really, I mean, I feel like he really did go out on a decent high, and a great number for his final night. So just wanted to make sure we touched on Sam and Cheryl, even though they did get to, go home. All right, next up,
Jordan and Brandon.
Jordan and Brandon, what did you think of that?
So much improvement, first of all. And that I loved the choreography. I loved it all. Like if I had to get nitpicky, like she constantly looks down, but it was so much better.
Yes.
So much better. Like,
and we heard Brandon mention that in the package. So we know that it is something that she is working towards.
Yes.
Great.
And so, but like her spot though, like I specifically saw it when she was looking at the judges. She was like, I am looking at you. It was so much better. Her musicality, but was fantastic. And I love that she got to sing. She got to use her voice.
Yes.
It was so nice. But in that costume,
yes, oh my goodness,
beautiful.
It was beautiful. But I also think that having those opportunities where we have that deeper connection to the song really helps to feel more initiative to do well. And I think that really helped her this week. Having her son there to support her was really great.
Connected to it, which makes it easier for you to perform in.
Exactly. I think my nitpick would be finishing up those arm lines. So anytime you're doing expansion, those extensions kind of thing, really finishing that line and then moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes those lines don't get finished, then they get cut into the next move. But that would be my nitpick.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, but what a beautiful number.
It was gorgeous.
It brought me to tears because I also sing that song to my son sometimes, and it was just so beautiful. Then
we had Wayne and Witney. I see him in the back.
It's my cat's turn now. Yes, I had to just show this to Brian. I had to show this to my husband because I was like, you have to watch this number real quick because it was, oh my goodness, so great.
Should have been tens. I think that so sometimes producers will talk to the judges and there's requirements. Like I remember talking to Julianne when she was a judge, and Jules mentioned that, it was Nastia and Derek's tango, like week 4, which happens to be the week we're on. Right. So she was like, that tango should have gotten 10s, but it was too early in the season, so we couldn't give it. So that story has always stuck with me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I think we're too early in the season, but that should have been 10s.
It really should have been. It was truly the footwork, the musicality, that just his syncopations that he stuck with, truly phenomenal. Absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah. Should have been 10. That's all I can say.
Yes. And you know what? It really, I don't remember which judge said it, but it really, I think it was Carrie Ann, that it did make you really be like, oh my goodness, I have to watch Hamilton again. Like I have to watch it again. It made you want to be a part of that story. And it was just so great.
I also think though it helped too, like how we were saying that connection part with Jordan, that Wayne played Aaron Burrs. So he had that connection already into it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and he had that deeper, work with the musicality of it too, because he knew when all of those nuances that Witney was talking about and was trying to work with, he knew when they were coming,
right?
Which I think was extremely helpful.
I agree.
So, real quick, taking a quick step back, what did you think of Pasha and Daniella with that Samba in the middle?
Oh, that was fun. That was fire.
So much fun. Oh my gosh, I was like, whoa. That was beautiful.
Well, and like that's something they can work on at home. And I love that they did the little kiss at the end. I was like, oh, that's so perfect.
It was so cute. Okay, I just wanted to see what you thought of it. I thought it was adorable.
Yes.
All
So,
right, moving on. Daniel and Britt
did
with
you
High
know
School
that?
Musical, the musical, the series.
Well, did you know that Britt was actually in all the High School Musical movies?
Yes, I did.
So I loved her. She's like, once a wildcat, always a wildcat. But
Yes.
even though that song wasn't in the movie per se, it was in season 3. But he's very good. But I don't.
Not the best.
It was not his best dance. To me, he was very flat-footed. When he was doing it, like when he was moving quick, he was more on his toes, but like through the piece, he was very flat-footed. And he lost frame at times. It was still an improvement from his last frame, but it's still, yeah. But I really think that Carrie Ann kind of hit it on the point. The quick step is so much harder because of those fast, quick, like quick. So you know what I mean? Like, and the syncopation of the music with those steps, because you basically have like a grapevine that you have to do together type thing in the slashes. And that component to me, I think would be very hard on Daniel.
Yes. And I think, and you know, I do agree. I think there were one too many crosses and not enough in the quick step footwork, which I understand Britt's point in choreographing it that way was obviously to help with all of that. But at the same time, yes, I do feel like it needed a little bit more quick step. And I almost feel like Daniel kind of felt that maybe a little bit at some point of the week. And I think that didn't exactly help his energy level either. So yes, an improvement, not as much of an improvement as I was hoping for out of him this week.
Right. It wasn't his best, but it wasn't bad either. So, and that's hard because you can almost see right now, because so many of them are now starting to get so invested in the competition, and they're starting to compare themselves to each other. And that's a dangerous thing, because then they'll get stuck in their heads. It's a competition between yourself. Try to improve each time.
Yes, it's exactly. It needs to just be self, and it needs to not be against each other. But it's really hard when you're in a competition to not do that. So
right. Hi, DJ.
Meow. He's like, Mom's got a blanket and I want to lay on it. This is one of his most favorite Disney blankets. So a nice Halloween blankie. Okay. Peter and Artem, by the way, absolutely adorable.
I love it.
Another one.
The masterclass. Anything with Derek too.
That was so great too. Yes, I love that they're doing those now. I love that we have the time to see those and do those.
Those are actually, and they're actually kind of helpful for those who like don't know. Like Charleston is one that I like. Yeah, I know. Okay, the basic Charleston, but not the entire. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
I do like them.
It was
okay. Moving on.
It was the Charleston they did, right? Or was it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was Charleston.
I think it was yes.
Charleston.
Yeah. Shangela and Gleb, how did you feel getting to see Shangela both doing this number, being Princess Tiana?
Love her
so much.
Like I said last week, she could have the worst technique, but like what she dances like makes me smile.
I know, so much fun. Like just I can't. It's just,
I know.
So great.
If I have to get picky, which I'll be picky, excuse me, is the transition and the sharpness. I want her to finish each move.
Yes, I put that with arms specifically.
Yeah, like she's like there. She has the movements, but she can just do that so much more extension and just that energy piece, like just to finish those clean and make it like super long. And
I feel like it's an excitement thing. I feel like she's so animated and so excited that then the strength gets lost in the excitement. That's what I feel like is happening.
I have to say though, I think she's the best performer in the entire group out of everyone.
Definitely.
Hands down.
Yeah. And I mean, that's her life.
Right.
So you would expect that out of her nonetheless.
Yes.
But it is so much fun. Oh my gosh, love watching her. And you could just tell she was really reveling in that role. She was reveling in that opportunity to get to truly be a princess. And
Yes.
it was just great. And the costuming was fantastic, as
I
expected throughout the
loved
whole
it
night.
when Tyra was like, I know you're a queen, but you're a princess. And she like loved it. It was so cute.
I know. It was so fun. Oh my goodness. Yes. So keeping that control and not losing that in the excitement of the live show and the excitement of everything going on around her
Absolutely.
would be my thing. So, all right. Heidi and Artem. First of all, I just want to say Heidi's coat was amazing.
Costume was beautiful.
Amazing. That coat was perfect. It had the perfect flow, the perfect length, the perfect shine, everything about that coat. I'd be trying to take that.
Right? That coat was beautiful. It's perfect. I'm like, okay, if I ever do Mary Poppins again, that's what I want.
That's right.
But the one thing that, like, the other fun thing though is that set. They've used that set before for when they've done Mary Poppins in the past. The one thing though is I need to check because I know they did like the 60th anniversary of Disneyland a few years ago with Derek as the host, and he did Step in Time. I want to know if that's the same set because I look at it every time and I'm like, is that the same set that they used?
Oh, maybe.
So
Probably.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't look it up. I know he did like a lot of jumping and things off of it when they did it, and it was bigger for that. But I was like, I wonder if they used that as the base and they brought that back.
Random
Piece of.
So I feel like Heidi's frame has gotten so strong and so beautiful.
Yeah.
Now my dilemma and my nitpick would be watching how far apart her feet are in the steps. I feel like when she does step, her feet are so far apart when they should be a little bit closer and a little more underneath her. And I hope that the far steps don't cause her to lose her grip at some point. I feel like they need to just be a little bit closer underneath.
It depends. It depends.
Obviously, it depends on the dance. Yeah. But I feel like in the Viennese waltz, it needed to be a little more underneath at points. At points.
It's with the like you have the heel lead, and then it depends on the up part. Like when you're up, like yeah, I can see that. I'll be honest, I didn't catch that, so I wasn't really looking at it for that.
Yeah, that was my thing.
But I feel like she was decent with the umbrella, but I feel like the prop threw her off a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then she was fine. So, but I had to laugh though when they did the scores and she got a 34 and Alfonso was like, it's a point higher. And then Charli in the background, I don't know, did you see she did like the whole loser sign in the back to her mom? I started laughing. I thought that was so cute.
Yes. Yeah. The two of them interacting is hilarious because you cannot tell me there's not a lot of competition in that household and a lot of competition between the two of them.
The rivalry has to be on point between them.
So definitely very funny. Yes, I did notice that.
Let's see. Then we had Gabby and Val.
Yes.
So I was texting you last night about this.
I know. And I'm struggling with you too, because it just seems like I feel like as Gabby goes, she starts off so high. And then as it goes, and I don't know if it's an energy thing, I don't know if it's an endurance thing, it just plummets. Like I just don't feel that same energy from the start through it. And I feel like that energy was so strong at the start this week. I think it was a role that she was really excited about and was just really happy. But it just doesn't stick.
I just,
you know,
it's missing attack for me. And I'm really struggling because it's a 3-way tie yet again. And I just, that attack or that energy just isn't there that I see in Wayne and Charli. And I don't know if it's a chemistry piece or it's just, I can't say like my biggest thing is probably the attack on the moves. But I just don't feel like technically she's flawless. And we were having that conversation and I still think she should score very high. I'm just really torn about why is she in the top 3 again, where I'm I'm missing something.
Right. And when you look at those 3 performances side by side, I
Mhm.
just don't, I don't see the scores being as high as they are for her. Yes,
Like if you
seeing
gave
that
her the
place underneath.
9999 and then Wayne and Charli had 10s, okay, I'll
Right.
take it. But they're all
They're all the same.
9999. So like that's where I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm. I agree. We'll just have to see. This week coming up is a big one. Memorable Year is always a really surprise, a real shocker week.
It's usually where we get like the first 10 because it's the
Mhm.
emotional component too.
So I'll be very interested to see how that leaderboard looks at the end of next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and see.
So then we had Trevor and Emma.
Which I love this song. I was so excited about this. And it just didn't do it for me.
I think
really
he
excited.
like he thinks about his movement so much that he gets stuck in his head.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was cute. Not at the same level that rumba, like that rumba, he looked like a pro. Like I just, and it's so hard because I think now everyone is critiquing him to that specific dance.
Yes.
Where I think like, okay, rumba is Trevor's style. Like that's his like top tier right there. But
Right.
everything
It's gonna make it so hard because everything is gonna
be compared
go
to
back to that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it really hard. I also feel like I didn't feel a lot of that kind of bounce that I needed a little bit more of. I felt like his feet were really super heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was so excited and it just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Song was great, costume was great. I loved seeing Lightning McQueen in the beginning.
I know. It's fun.
It was fun. But anyway, so hopefully a better week for him next week.
Mm-hmm. Then
All
we
right.
get Vinny and Koko.
I definitely agree. Definitely his best one yet. He was having
Most
so much
improved
fun.
again.
Oh my goodness, was having so much fun up there. And I think it was connecting back to that Italian culture. I think allowed him to just feel comfortable and feel like he could just have so much fun.
I feel like if Vinny can connect to it, he does better.
Yes, definitely.
So like, and I even wrote like that there was a lot more grace and fluidity in his movements. I did say he needs to be a little bit more on the balls of his feet, but
And a little more keeping those connections between moves,
Mhm.
but yeah.
But like otherwise, like I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, but so much better.
Next week it's gonna be tough because I'm really torn. I always make predictions of who do I think is gonna go home, and I question if it's Trevor because obviously he was in the bottom 2 this week. But Vinny has also been in the bottom. But I know Vinny has such a strong following that like I don't see him going home.
I don't either. It's good. We're gonna start, like I told you, we're gonna start those shocker weeks. Those shocker eliminations are gonna start happening because the people votes are gonna be very high for him.
I worry if that's gonna put Daniella and Joseph in the bottom component.
No, I feel like he's
what-
gonna have a pretty solid following too, though.
Really? Because like I don't know much that he's done.
Not
His
him, but his
status.
family lineage will give him the following.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where that's gonna come from. It's not gonna come from him direct, but it's gonna come from that lineage.
So it's so hard. Like now starting to like, okay, who's going home next? So
We shall see. We shall see.
I know.
All right, moving on. Selma and Sasha with the Muppets this week.
They can do no wrong in my eyes. Like every week she breaks every stereotype that's coming at her. And just like even when like she sat and like did the like little roll thing with Sasha, I was like, woo, girl. And then like The acting was on point. I will say it was very clean, but like, could it be sharper? Yes, but I don't think some of the limitations, there will be some limitations on her dance. And the thing though is how well Sasha is working those limitations into the choreography so you don't see them.
Right.
Is incredible.
Yeah, he's doing a really, I wrote kind of the same thing, that he's really doing a great job choreographing to her needs and choreographing to what is suiting her best. I think that's going to be the hardest part about this as the weeks continue, because I do expect her to be around for a long time, is remembering that she does have those limitations, which we shouldn't judge her by that anyway. Should just judge her by what she puts on the table. But it's going to be hard for people to remember that she does have to be choreographed to what could potentially happen. You know, because you don't want to choreograph her into dangerous situations where then all of a sudden, if something does happen in the moment, she ends up getting hurt or something happens. So
I agree.
It's going to be very interesting to see as the weeks continue and as Sasha continues to keep working with her more, how that all pans out.
I have a friend.
I see that.
This is
I have yeah. Hi. And then I have a little biscuit friend down here.
You see DJ in the camera? Do you see DJ?
Hi, Pasha.
Who said that?
Hi.
Oh my goodness. You're like, I hear noises.
Oh, Mom, I have to go. Very busy.
I know. Right?
Very busy.
Oh.
Okay, so we have what?
Jessie and Alan. Holy moly, like incredible. The Hocus Pocus theme, the Jive. Alan's an amazing Jive teacher with the tech.
Yes, he is. Oh my goodness.
And so, like, she was another one that to me was most improved. The sharpness of those flicks and her performance.
Another one that you could just tell she really reveled in this character. She really was excited to play it and to be it. And it really helped her.
She looked like Sarah Jessica Parker in there too.
So much.
I would have even loved to seen that she got a 9 from that because I thought it was that good.
I agree.
So then our final one, Charli and Mark.
I really love how much he's challenging her.
I do too.
Choreography wise, because she can handle it.
Well, especially because she can handle it, I think that the public expects her to do more. So I think Mark has to challenge her so much. And it was beautiful. It was beautifully done. And also, I have to say, like, wearing a wig like that totally throws off your center for dancers. So the fact that, like, even her turns were so sharp and clean, like, I was impressed.
Been there, done that with crazy wigs. You know, they do not make it easy when you've got to do stuff in them at all.
Right.
But man, she handled that like a champ.
Literally, I wish she had 10s. Yeah. Because I texted you at that moment. I was like, I don't think the producers are allowing 10s yet.
No, because I just there was no reason not to at that point. I didn't see the reason behind not giving them to her, because it was great. It was almost flawless. Like, I really sat here baffled, but like you said, must just be a little bit too early. I just can't do it yet.
I know, exactly.
So we wait to see what next week brings.
I know we started talking about what it is next week, so I'm excited.
Yes, so 2 nights.
So just so everyone knows, we won't be back though until Thursday next week because it is a 2-night week. So, and Wednesday's just a little crazy with our schedule. So we're gonna upload it on Thursday night.
Yeah. So, okay. So, real quick, just remind people, 2 nights. The first night is most memorable year. And then night 2,
prom night,
is prom night.
which will be interesting because that's a new a new one. So I'll be interested to see what they do. Like the only thing I can think of is like Prom from like a musical. So I'm like, or like High School Musical 3 with It's the Night. But
yeah, I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see. But yeah, so the first week of dual dances, that would be very interesting to see how our celebs handle learning 2 routines instead of just 1.
Yeah. Well, I almost wonder if it's 3 though, because if we have prom night and then on the second night they're bringing back the battles, where they have to do
3.
like, so we're going from 1 to 3, I think. So I could be wrong on that, but I think it'll be very intense. So I think you could see some people crack a little bit and just get upset. But I think they like we said earlier, they just got to get out of their heads. They all can do it. It's just a matter of, believing in themselves and just applying it and practicing it. Write down their dances. That's what I always tell my kids. Go home and write it down.
Yes, write it down if you need to. Watch videos of it. Anything to just keep it fresh in your mind.
Exactly.
So we shall see what it brings. I'm excited. Yes, another great week ahead.
Yes. So,
all right.
Fun times.
We'll see what next week brings.
I will see you Thursday.
Sounds good. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.